Hey, I'm Tara Shepard, and I'm a transgender woman, or a trans woman, or a T-girl, or a dick girl, or a tranny. I actually like to call myself a bro dyke because that kind of explains my personality a little bit more than any of those other terms. But um, for the purposes of this video and this channel, consider me a transgender woman, if you will. Call me whatever you want. I thought of an idea. It's an idea I had just recently, probably in the past 4 or 5 days, and I really wanted to talk about beards. But not just any beards, special beards, special little snowflake beards, but the transgender beard. And being transgender, male to female, um, being on hormones for a little bit over a year now, year and a few months, I found that there's definitely a difference between how I feel now and how I felt a year ago. As far as my comfort level, as far as my sense of self is a big one, and that's something I want to talk about in just a minute here. But I devised a little bit of an experiment to do for me to do in my spare time because it really doesn't take any extra effort. Um, is to start regrowing a little bit of a beard, and I started about 4 days ago, 5 days ago, I think, maybe 5 days ago. So I think it's been about 4 or 5 days since I've last shaved my face, and you know the hair definitely doesn't grow as fast as it used to before I started hormones, but it does still grow, and it does grow at a really kind of an even keel, an even pace, So over the past 5 days, I've gotten, a little bit past the stubble stage. You probably can't see it, but it's no, I bet you see right there. Got some beard going on. Looks good, right? Nice and scruffy. But the point of doing this experiment, uh, that I, the point that I came up with for doing this experiment was to see how well I dealt with stressors, I guess, transgender stressors, now compared to about a year ago. And what I found is, for me, over the course of the last year, it just seems like I've become far more comfortable with myself and my body. And I think the hormones have a big part in that. Um, I don't want to say the only part. It's been a really wild journey. Um, I do believe that they've helped me in a lot of ways, though, because even when I introduce something to my body now that isn't, considered quote unquote as feminine, I'm not rocking the long hair down to, my nipples or anything, and I'm not plastering makeup on my face every day. I mean, not there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, I don't do that on a daily basis, and those are things that are, socially, as far as the mainstream goes, those are thought of as pretty normal as far as being feminine. Wear makeup, you have long hair, and as you can see, I have this weird mop top chop cut, and don't usually wear makeup all that often. But even when introducing something to myself, my image that is even more masculine, so it's not just a neutral thing. It's not like, oh, you don't put on makeup, so you could go either way. It's like, oh, so you're growing a beard. That's awesome. Isn't that something the men do? Even doing that again is kind of doesn't really faze me, which it did a long time ago, and it did up until I don't even want to say it's been a year since I've last had that feeling, because that feeling's been around for a long time. And I would say my last memory of that feeling was probably, I want to say in February. So it's been a couple of months. But for that first, for that first almost entire year, it was really a battle to keep up with facial hair and shaving, and on a daily basis it was something where I'd wake up, I might have shaved the night before, or I might plan on shaving in the morning, whatever. Either way, there'd be a little bit of stubble, like definitely not even as much as I have now. I mean, this is, like I said, this is past the stubble stage. This is onto the millimeter stage where I can actually, get a grip on the hair and stuff. But even at the stubble stage, I would wake up and go into the bathroom and go to shave my face, because that is kind of, a common ritual. And I would feel really, really terrible, like really piss poor shitty about myself every time I go in and try to shave my face. And it didn't really matter how close to the skin I got, because I could still see, shadow, like the blue shadow, even when, what I'm talking about. So you get as close as you possibly can with the razor, and you still have to use, orange base orange foundation, something to get it to blend in and get that blue out of there. You know, if you have a lot of facial hair and your skin's a certain tone, and it kind of sucks if you're going for the baby face thing. But I digress. Coming back to it, it it really got to me like a lot. It was a source of mental fatigue every single day. Like I'd wake up, look at myself in the mirror, think, "Fuck this hair." You know, it's just like gotta do something about it. And I was really preoccupied for a while with laser hair removal and electrolysis and things like that. And so it was a big part of my life. And that might sound silly, like facial hair is a big part of your life. You really think about it that much, but when I was first coming out and when I was first going through the transition process, it was here's my thought. I think it was more difficult then because I had less of a foundation of who I was as a person. So you come out and you figure you're going to talk to people, to your family members, to your friends. You figure, okay, something I'm preparing to do. I'm going to drop this big bomb, this giant bombshell of news on everyone I know or everyone I feel comfortable telling. And that's going to be it, and it's going to be over, and then I'm me, and then they have to deal with it. But it's not like that at all, especially when you just come out like that suddenly. For me, it was this really jarring thing where I knew what I wanted, and I knew the right way to go about it, and I knew what kind of life path I wanted to get myself on. But there was a lot of displacement in the beginning, and I've used that word before, and it has kind of a special meaning for me. I won't talk about it now, but I did feel extremely displaced because not only was I losing my pre-transition identity, my male identity that I'd grown up with, I did not really have a female identity yet. I didn't have a way to, I had ideas and I had feelings, but I didn't really have any kind of center. Like I didn't have an emotional center or a spiritual center or even, a center of identity, like a sense of self. And so any little thing could throw me off any given day. Like, facial hair, the way my eyes looked, maybe my hair's not growing long enough. My voice, do I sound like a woman? Do I not sound like a woman? I need some new shoes because, Converse aren't that feminine, whatever. Anything threw me way off kilter. So it's interesting to come back now and got this beard going on, and it's not like I've been shutting myself inside for any number of days and rocking back and forth in a corner. Like I've been going out and grocery shopping, going about my normal day and everything, and it really is surprising because it doesn't faze me anymore. And I think a big reason for that is that probably already know because I was already talking about the opposite, but whereas in the beginning there was that loss of sense of self, it's been so long now, and I feel like that's kind of an inevitable part of the process of transition, at least from my perspective. It might not be for everyone, and that's totally, it is what it is, and that's cool. But for me, like if someone were to ask me, what is the goal of transitioning? At this point, I would say, it's really nice to have curves, and it's really nice to be growing breasts and things like that. That's totally cool. I've got some titties to play with and stuff. I mean, that's always, titties are always fun. But the bigger part of it for me is that it's brought me closer to like an authentic center of self, to knowing myself more than I ever have before. And even though things get rocky or they start rocky, or they get rocky, or they continue to be rocky in the beginning, I feel pretty optimistic about it, and I would say to anyone who's considering transitioning that it's a quest worth embarking on. It's definitely like this ain't no like escort, sub-quest, side mission or anything. This is like a main quest. This is main quest material. So if it's something you feel like it's calling out to you, I would definitely try it. Because there are a lot of factors to it. There's certain people who've transitioned fully and then detransitioned, so it's not it's not something that's really set in stone. It is something. I consider this an exploration of the self, and it just so happens that in exploring myself in this way, I found my most authentic person, which is me, Tara, and feel the most comfortable I've ever been. So feel like I got way off topic. I'm not even talking about anything to do with beards now, but you can see how beards kind of segued into what I've been saying. And the point is to challenge yourself. I think that's what I was getting at. So, challenge yourself, because a big part of, like I said, at least for me, a big part of being transgender and being, a possible representative of a community at large is, trying to get people to challenge themselves and step outside of their comfort zones. Because that is kind of the thing that inspires growth. I mean, I may never have known that I feel more confident now without taking a chance to, taking a moment to step back and do something that was, way uncomfortable before, and coming back to it, and then, having that realization. So, you know, challenge yourself, and all that other good shit. And I don't know what I'm saying anymore, so I'm gonna get on out of here, hit the old dusty trail, and catch you later.